Hello, my name is Elai Levinson. I'm an LSU student. I also work at Louisiana Progress, and I'm also a Louisiana driver. So, at Louisiana Progress, we've been looking at auto insurance costs for years now, before I arrived. We think of lowering auto insurance costs sort of like giving a tax break to every driver in Louisiana, and this would greatly benefit those low income and working class Louisianans who make up our constituents. So a former colleague of mine who recently graduated college, she asked a compelling question. She wanted to know why Louisiana insurance was so high, but also why it was so high compared to our neighbors, in particular Mississippi. Mississippi and Louisiana demographically are very similar. We have similar poverty rates. We have similar median incomes, so on. And yet, car insurance is way more expensive here than it is there. And so in my research, I found this through the website MarketWatch. They frequently update what they call a car insurance cost comparison by state, based on frequent research. And as of their most recent update, which was from mid-October of this year, Louisiana is among the most expensive states for auto insurance, with an average annual full coverage premium of $4,357. And for comparison, Texas is $3,156, Arkansas is $2,398, and Mississippi has an average annual full coverage premium of $2,140. So to compare the two, Louisiana, $4,357, Mississippi, $2,140. That means that Louisiana drivers, on average, are paying 2 times more for car insurance than Mississippi drivers. And so why is that? And since my former colleague has left, that has been something that I've tried to answer, and more or less doing so by sort of reverse engineering the models that auto insurance companies use. And they keep their models secret for proprietary reasons. You know, it's kind of like how a burger joint won't give out the recipe for its secret sauce. And that secrecy ultimately makes it harder for legislators, for regulators, for advocates, and for the average driver to figure out which factors are incorporated into these calculations and how each of them are weighted. It's necessary for them to keep some of those things secret. It just makes it harder for us. And so when I was starting to look at some of these factors, I was trying to figure out which ones may indicate why we are paying so much. You know, we have some factors such as road quality, credit history, educational attainment, auto repair costs explain why our rates are high, but those do not explain why we're an outlier compared to, in particular, Mississippi. You know, for example, we have a similar percentage of roads roads that are considered acceptable according to a metric from the Department of Transportation. Similar credit history to Mississippi, yet we pay more. And so while I'm still working on this analysis, and there's still a lot more research to be done, and this is an ongoing project, and we intend to work on legislation to address as many of these factors as we can, there was one thing that stuck out to me that I wanted to share with all of you, and that is pedestrian and cyclist fatality. So Louisiana sticks out as having some of the highest rates in the country. So just a little bit of data. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, from 2022, which was the most recent year the data was available, pedestrian fatalities per 100,000 people, Louisiana's at 3.94, Mississippi's at 2.76. And for cyclists, Louisiana's at 0.98, Mississippi's at 0.58. And, you know, Texas and Arkansas is also lower than Louisiana in those metrics. So essentially, if we really want to start lowering addressing the crisis to lower auto insurance rates for our Louisiana drivers, which I believe we all want to do. I think we need to look beyond some of the arguments we've traditionally had that have driven in this discussion and try to figure out which factors, which variables make Louisiana an outlier. So improving infrastructure, auto insurance costs, road safety seems like one area that fits very neatly into some of the priorities of this legislature and should come at a relatively low cost and provide a financial bonus to millions of Louisiana drivers.
Thank you very much. And just a couple of comments I'll make real quickly is, those numbers, really explain why we're here, that we're double what Mississippi is. And I think it should also be pointed out that's for, depending on how you define full coverage, for about half the coverage of what Mississippi drivers are required to keep in place. So, and I appreciate you working on this. And what I envision is, in the next couple months, this house insurance at least, and I believe the other committees will generate a report or will present our findings, and we'll be happy to send that to you. Another thing we've noticed is there is a direct correlation between seatbelt usage and fatalities, and so that's something I think we'll be looking at as well. Mr.